Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and on the docket for today, it's going to be a slow day for your Houston Texans, but not a slow day for the Tennessee Titans. We'll get into that. Are they set to make a splash move? One of the splashiest moves of the early offseason, because, with the Titans being, a one-win team, it is basically already their offseason. And then Will Anderson Jr., is he the face of the franchise? And what does that mean for the Texans moving forward? We'll discuss on today's show. Some news and notes before we get into our main stories. The Texans, they went ahead and signed Amir Speed. And this is important because who do the Texans play this week? The Indianapolis Colts. Amir Speed spent time on the Colts practice squad, so maybe a little bit of inside intel by Nick Casario, D'Amico Ryans, trying to little spy on the enemy maybe with Amir Speed. Hey, the Chiefs did that with Dameon Pierce on their practice squad, so why don't we do that with a former Colt and Amir Speed? They also worked out 4 players: Lamarian James, a defensive back; Montrell Johnson, a running back; Tanner McLaughlin, a tight end; and G. Scott, another tight end. So I'll keep you up to date and let you know if they go ahead and sign any of those players. And guys, this is why you subscribe, because this same information that I'm giving you right now, it is 100% free on this channel. All you got to do, go down and hit that subscribe button for daily videos. I won't put you behind a paywall. I'm not going to make you pay anything to get the information here on Texans Today. ESPN Plus, on the other hand, they're going to charge you $120 a year. In this economy, I don't think so. So make the smart choice. Subscribe to Texans Today. You don't need ESPN Plus. You got me. I got you covered 365 days a year. Let's get into our first story. Are the Titans going to make a splash? Rumors are flying. They're circulating around the Titans head coaching search. And there's a lot of speculation out there that they might make a massive move. And what more massive of a move than one of the top head coaches in NFL history in one, Bill Belichick. This is what Josina Anderson said earlier today around all of the Belichick rumors. New, I'm told at least 2 NFL teams are still expected to have interest in talking to Bill Belichick behind the scenes, at the very least about head coach jobs this carousel season, per a league source. A third team could also enter the mix with desires to talk, particularly if one specific personnel change is made under ownership, the source added. Side note, there's more to the story of why Bill Belichick did not end up head coaching another NFL team a couple seasons ago, with his own desires and preferences regarding workplace dynamics playing more a part of it than I think has been discussed, publicly known, or given real credence. At any rate, Belichick still has deep respect for a number of owners across the league, and that's what matters. Maybe he's talking about, his own desires and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who is basically running the North Carolina football program right now. I'll just say this. I hope that the Titans go ahead and make Bill Belichick their next head coach. He has been a joke at North Carolina this season, and with all of the distractions, everything going around, I think this would be a massive setback for the Tennessee Titans. But if Amy Trask, if you're watching, I actually think it would be an amazing hire. I think that would be the best hire that you could ever make, Mrs. Trask, if you could go ahead and hire Bill Belichick. I can't even do it with a straight face. This would be hilarious if the Titans went ahead and made Bill Belichick their next head coach. I know he's one of the top head coaches in NFL history. Obviously, the winning pedigree speaks for itself with his years in New England with Tom Brady. But it was just that, with Tom Brady. Since then, he has done, let me check, diddly, squat, zero, nothing, zilch, nada. He has been a net negative everywhere he's been without Tom Brady. And now he has a future Netflix documentary in the making with 24-year-old Jordan Hudson getting in online fights with Pablo Torre. So please, Tennessee, you could go ahead and hire Bill Belichick to be your next head coach. And seriously, I want to know, if you have any Titans friends out there, I want to know. Let me know your one-word reaction if the Titans hired Bill Belichick. Let me know what you would think about this hire. I would say hilarious. It would be hilarious if the Titans went ahead and hired Bill Belichick. I mean, maybe you haven't gotten the memo from the video so far, but I think he's washed. I think it's like you got to know when to hold them, got to know when to fold them. And Bill, you got to know when to walk away. And I'm just sorry. You're watching your chips dwindling down. You're still one of the top head coaches of all time. But at the end of the day, this is a stain on the Bill Belichick legacy. And I think every year he coaches from now on is just diminishing what he did in New England just a little bit more because it proves my point that I said earlier. And I got Alper on the ones and twos. He knows more than anybody. Everybody, the whispers are out there, and they're not even whispers anymore. They're full-out screams. Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. That's the fact. We also have another coaching rumor around the Tennessee Titans coming up. It would be another insane splash. Maybe even bigger than Bill Belichick. I'll tell you what that is here in just a moment. But quick word from our sponsor over at PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. Join the millions of users and get signed up for PrizePicks today. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It's the holiday season, the best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, and it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions on, maybe what to get my wife for the holiday season, if you have any ideas, please put them in the comment section for me. What gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch. There's one place where it feels so good to be right, and that is PrizePicks. There's a new feature alert. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And shout out to my boy Alper and the Chat Sports crew. They put together a Thanksgiving lineup to keep not only your bellies full, but your wallets full. This is what we're rolling with. Jared Goff, more than 239.5 pass yards. Patrick Mahomes, 267.5 pass yards. I think that's light work against the Cowboys defense. And then Joe Burrow, they're going less on the 255.5 pass yards. You can use our lineup, make some money, or go ahead and make your own. The fun never stops with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use that code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All that information will be in the comment section and description of today's show. Josina did not stop there. And if you're watching this, Josina, I would want to give you more credit. I would put you on my show more, but you blocked me. So that's where we're at. But Josina went ahead and put this out, keeping tabs as we approach the Carousel season. League sources are eyeing 5 more NFL teams with projected openings at head coach. That's a big one right there. There's only 2 head coach openings right now. She's saying there's at least 3 more that are going to be coming. Who are they going to be? As of where things stand today, while waiting to collect more data on the 6th team too. Meanwhile, and this is the part that really kind of piqued my interest, there's a longtime NFL head coach out there who is considering wanting a change of scenery and has told others of these thoughts. If he acts on those lingering feelings, his departure would clearly add to the vacancies. And, Josina, whether you believe NFL insiders, their hit rate, this, that, and the other, Josina, she gets some stuff right. She blocked me, and, obviously because I pointed out some things that she got wrong. But I will say, in her credit, the last coaching cycle, I think Josina got 5 out of the 7 coaches correct in predicting / reporting on them. So, kudos where they're due. This part where she said a current longtime coach, though, is considering a want to change the scenery. I put on my thinking goggles. I tried to, think of what coaches would want to change the scenery. Andy Reid? Surely not. Kyle Shanahan? No way. John Harbaugh? It's a big maybe. I know it's been up and down, but, especially with the Ravens in the lead of their division right now, especially if they win their division this year, I don't really see that happening. Who else would it be? Oh, yeah. Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's been growing animosity between Tomlin, the fan base, the ownership, all the way from the top to the bottom because of the lack of playoff success. I know Tomlin has been over 500 his entire career, which is wild to think, right? Tomlin has been over 500 his entire career. Never a losing season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yet, one Super Bowl win, 2 Super Bowl appearances to show for it, but no playoff wins since 2016, which is making this fan base kind of get a little testy, being like, you know what, he's lost his fastball. He can't do it anymore. He can't coach in the big games. And I think Tomlin hears all that noise, and he's been on the record saying, maybe after Pittsburgh he moves on to another team in the future. Maybe a change of scenery would do everybody right. Insert the Tennessee Titans. This one I actually think would make the most sense if he's available for Tennessee. Now, the Titans would have to trade for Tomlin because his contract isn't up until the end of the 2027 season, and he also has a no-trade clause in his contract. So Mike Tomlin would also have to agree to be sent to the Tennessee Titans. Also, some draft capital would probably be a part of this trade as well. The last coaching trade, if you don't have to AI it, I got you covered. It was Sean Payton from the Saints to the Denver Broncos. And in that trade, the Saints got a first and a second-round pick in exchange. And then the Broncos obviously got Sean Payton and a third-round pick. Now, with the Titans currently holding the number 1 overall pick, I highly doubt it would be their first-round pick. Probably the second-round pick, which is, if they have the first pick, it's probably somewhat equivalent to a first-round pick because you're that first pick in the second round. But very interesting stuff here from Josina and very interesting stuff around the Tennessee Titans. I know this is a Texans channel. We talk about Texans news, but they're in our division. We play them twice a year. This is important for your Houston Texans moving forward because you might have to face Bill Belichick. You might have to face a Mike Tomlin twice a year moving forward. And I know the Titans have been the basement dwellers of the AFC South, but the Colts have been a lot better this year. They're currently leading the division. The Jags look like they've improved under Liam Cohen. And what used to be the worst division in the NFL is slowly turning into one of the top ones in the NFL, which directly impacts your Houston Texans. I'm actually curious, though. Do you have any Titans friends out there? Do you have any friends that are Titans fans? If so, send in this video and ask their opinion. I actually am curious, and I want to know if you have any Titans fans out there, if they're, family members, friends, this, that, or the other. Send them this video and let me know. What do they think about all the head coaching rumors, and who do they want? Because, like I said, I think Tomlin would actually make a ton of sense for Tennessee, and Bill Belichick would be it would make me belly laugh until my ribs hurt if they went ahead and signed Bill Belichick. Last up for today, let's discuss Will Anderson Jr. and his impact on the Texans this year and moving forward. I don't know if you noticed this. Will Anderson Jr. is really freaking good. He is one of the best players in the NFL, if not maybe the best player for your Houston Texans. If you just want to text to box the stats right there. But, he's been incredible. And I said earlier this offseason, by the end of this year, everybody's going to know that 51's the best player on the Houston Texans, bar none. And he's making me look like a really smart guy because Will Anderson Jr., in my opinion, is the number 1 player on this Texans roster. In terms of talent, in terms of pure skill, in terms of how good they are in their position group, I think Will Anderson Jr., maybe only behind Myles Garrett, right there, probably with TJ Watt as some of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. I would probably take him over Micah Parsons at this point. And that leads into my next point of how we're going to pay Will Anderson because, as you know, Micah Parsons got a mega deal this offseason. And Albert Breer, he put out a little, write-up saying, the Texans should pay Will Anderson Jr. now. And he talked with Texans DC Matt Burke about Will Anderson Jr.'s impact. This is what Matt Burke had to say. Every single time that kid puts on a helmet, he plays that way and approaches in that way and trains that way and everything. So if you're somebody else on this team, and I don't think we have a lot of the guys that are like that, but you're someone else on this team who needs it, it's like, hey, if Will's doing that, why aren't you? He doesn't need to say anything. It's not like Will has to call people out. He just works. And, as a Texans fan, as, a lot of y'all who've watched this team throughout the years, I said it earlier in the season, he's reminding me more and more of J.J. Watt as the weeks roll on. Maybe not as much of the vocal leader as a J.J. Watt was, even though he has been, amping up his guys on the sideline. He has been really, hyping everybody up. I don't know if he's as much of a vocal leader, but in terms of putting work in, Will Anderson Jr., regardless of how good he is, and this is why I would have no qualms in absolutely unloading the Brinks trucks, giving Will Anderson Jr. all the money he wants, is because he puts in work and has a relentless mindset day in and day out. And I don't think paying him would change that one bit. You can't say that about all the players in the NFL. Now, here are the highest paid edge rushers on a per year basis in the NFL. Micah Parsons sitting there at number 1, TJ Watt at 2, Myles Garrett at 3, and then our boy Danielle Hunter sitting there at number 4. And with how Will Anderson Jr. is playing this year, he's going to get Micah Parsons money. He's going to do it. And I think he deserves it. Pay that man. Give him the money. And even if it's a, more of a gesture of, you saw Micah Parsons makes $47 million a year. If they give Will Anderson Jr. 47.5, 47 point whatever, to make him the highest paid right above Micah Parsons, I am all for that. Because I think, is worth every single penny what he brings to this team. Look what he did to the reigning MVP in Josh Allen. He had that man shaking in his boots. So go ahead, Nick Casario, D'Amico Ryans. Pay Will Anderson Jr. because in the long run, it will definitely be worth it. That's all I have for you on today's show, folks. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can do so at Jeremy Chugs. My DMs are always open. And if you made it to the end of today's show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we are 100% free 100% of the time. Never behind a paywall, so we got you covered. Weekly live shows. We're going to be live this Sunday for Texans up against the Colts. So be there, be square. Make sure you hit that sub button.